Ladies and gentlemen, it is once again 6:30 p.m. Eastern in the great state of West Virginia, and I'm sitting in the broom closet in the back of Lost Legion Games and Comics, which means it's time for Friday Night Magic from the aforementioned Lost Legion Games and Comics in beautiful downtown South Charleston, West Virginia. My name is Zachary Evans. As always, I'll be joined by, I believe Sam Hanna will be in here a little bit later. So give me someone to talk to so I don't feel like a complete crazy person sitting here by myself talking to no one. So, let's do a little bit of business here. Let's talk about the event that we've got for you. Looks like we've got 23 players in tonight's event. We're down a little bit in terms of numbers. We did lose some guys back to college after the holiday break. We're also in the last 2 weeks of a dying standard format as Gatecrash is coming out in 2 weeks. We'll talk a little bit later about that. But a lot of people are kind of in a rut when it comes to standard right now. So this is usually the time of year right before new sets when the numbers are down. So Gatecrash coming out, we'll see those numbers hopefully go back up to the 30s, 40s, and the one time we got close to 50. Hopefully when the set drops. So let's talk about round one. Right off the bat, we've got a fun one, as I'm now joined by the aforementioned Sam Hanna.
Well, hello.
On the left is one Jordan Pectyo. He's commentated with us the last 2 weeks. He's played on camera multiple times. Interesting trivia fact for those who are ardent, lifelong fans of the stream. It was Jordan Pectyo who made videos with his iPhone 1 week, and everyone was super excited about it. That finally got me off my butt and gave me the motivation to actually do this. So he is the linchpin of this whole operation.
I remember that. I remember the exact moment that this little seed began to sprout, actually.
So Jordan is here. And he is playing a deck. He's the reason why we have these two guys in the feature match on round one. He is playing a blue-black. It's a bug deck. It's blue-black splashing green for Deathrite Shaman and Abrupt Decays. He is playing Grimgrin Rooftop Storm combo.
Gravecrawler for days.
Yeah, so he's playing, Blood Artist effect. Hold on. I forgot to give him the... Did I not give it to him? Did I not give him the rock, paper, scissors card?
Oh, no. I think they're out.
Did I not give him the card? We are lost to the ether? Where are they? Oh, here they are. That's that level of professionalism that you look for.
Of course.
Is right in the middle of my intros. I just walk out and give them cards. Well, I had them out there, and one of the other gentlemen brought them back to me because he thought I left them out there, which I appreciate, but was not what I was hoping to do.
So Jordan is also playing the Diregraph Captain, where when you have a zombie you control dies.
Yes. So yes. He's playing that, and I think a Blood Artist or two. But basically, here's the deal. Jordan's kind of done with the standard format. He's kind of bored with it. He wasn't sure if he was going to play tonight or not, but he decided this week that he wanted to give zombies one more go, and he decided to have as much fun as possible and play Grimgrin. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, Grimgrin, of course, I could bring that up, but Grimgrin allows for basically infinite sack abilities. He's a sacrifice outlet, which when paired with Rooftop Storm and Gravecrawler lets you cast and sack infinite creatures, and with any Blood Artist effect, immediately win the game. Mm-hmm. Or you can also make an infinite, in the case of a Witchbane Orb, I guess you could make an infinitely big Grimgrin and just attack for the win.
Indeed.
But basically his deck is a bug control deck. He's playing a lot of counter spells and removal and Abrupt Decays and whatnot, and then the combo is just kind of like the gravy at the end. I believe he's also playing one copy of Army of the Damned, just because he said he wanted to play one foil copy of Army of the Damned.
Who wouldn't want to play one foil copy of Army of the Damned?
So right into the action here. Turn 1 Deathrite Shaman met by turn 2 Intangible Virtue from Brett. Brett's played on the stream multiple times before. He played Junk tokens before rotation. He's played Esper tokens ever since rotation. If you've not seen his deck, he uses the power of 2-for-1 token generators like Midnight Haunting and Lingering Souls, which are then powered up by 4 Intangible Virtues and 3 favorable winds.
Mm-hmm.
And it does a lot of damage quick. It doesn't look like it does anything for the first like 2, 3, 4 turns.
Until he's coming
and then
over.
it attacks for like 16 immediately.
Yep. He's coming over to play with 2 or 3 4/4s.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So Syncopate takes out the Drogskull Captain, which is the spirit-based lord from that same Dark Ascension set. Or was that Innistrad?
That was Dark Ascension. That was the one that had the.
So we have
effects.
dueling uncommon cycle lords from Dark Ascension here. Drogskull Captain versus Diregraph Captain. Yep. So Jordan's going to drain Brett there.
And Deathrite is very useful against Brett because it lets him handle the butt end of Lingering Souls.
Absolutely. Yeah, it provides an incremental. It's probably not as good in this deck as it is in some of the other decks, especially not as good as it is in the Modern and Legacy decks. But it does have some incidental graveyard hate, which is very good in this format. Jordan's also playing Forbidden Alchemy, so he can occasionally get mana off of it too. There's the aforementioned Grimgrin. 5/5, it comes into play, sack a creature, untap him and put a counter on him. When he attacks, destroy target creature, put another counter on him. You have to. He's a giant zombie.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta sack a dude so that you can,
feed him to him.
tidy him up. No, I'd like to think more instead of feeding him, it's just
you're sewing,
strapping parts to him.
You're sewing it into him.
End of turn, you see Eyes in the Skies from Brett. That is a 4-cost instant that makes a bird token then populates. And there's favorable winds. This is what I'm talking about. Like, if this sticks, that he's like got 3/3 vigilance. He's also got his Vault of the Archangel out, which means
life gain and death touch. Abrupt decay.
He's going to abrupt decay the. I think I get Intangible Virtue here. I think he might have done that before. I'm not sure if he did it before combat or not. Yeah, he does it before combat.
That's what I would definitely pick, because Vigilance just adds bad things.
Yeah, just killing one of the dudes does nothing, because he's just going to make infinitely more of them.
Quite.
And he's got plenty of Anthem effects to replace that one with, but you do what you can. Well, there's 2 Grave Crawlers. Now, here's the part where Jordan's deck, and remember, he just put this together today. It's kind of a half combo, half zombie beatdown deck. But the zombie portion of it is not as strong as it could be, simply because, it's hard to go the distance with one Grave Crawler.
Yes.
But, and you can't block with them, same like Bloodgask in the old, because they'd be the perfect card for a control deck.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that you can constantly rebuy and gets in the way of something, but R&D recognize this and will not allow that to happen, so.
Oh.
That is pretty brutal.
Brett just bought a ticket to Value Town.
Now, to be fair, Jordan is playing, I think, a full suite of Abrupt Decays, so he can still get him.
Mm-hmm.
More than anything, Jordan's stuck on lands here. I don't think he drew another one. Oh, he does have the Captain in his hand, and I think he was going to go... he was going to go to Captain, attack for 6.
Mm-hmm.
He also has a Think Twice in his hand, which I think I might have cast there just to find the extra land.
I think I'd agree with that.
I don't think holding up... He has another Syncopate, but I don't think holding up Syncopate at this point is going to get the job done.
He might be able to put off more tokens.
He is playing Mutilates as well, which will help reset if he can find, number 1, another Swamp, and then number 2... a Mutilate. The most important part.
Deathrite Shaman, putting in some value.
And while he's tapped out, Brett's going to go ahead and resolve Eyes in the Skies. That'll make 2 more tokens, and he is presenting lethal on board to abuse Magic jargon a little bit. So Brett's going to need his own O-Ring, which he can't cast, or an Abrupt Decay on the favorable winds, which will buy him 1 turn, or some kind of dig effect.
It's going to be hard to operate with 4 lands, whatever he does.
Yeah. This is the problem with, he's going to flashback his thing twice, but he'll just lose if he does. Well, no, he can, well, no, he can't. I don't think there's anything he can do.
Well, he didn't do anything, so he might have a trick up his sleeve.
No, I think he's going to end the turn. No, yeah, there it is.
Yep, stupid.
End of turn, concede the game. Well, it's unfortunate. Like I said, Jordan's deck is it's very control-ish, and the combo is very kind of fragile, and it requires a lot of pieces. But I hope and pray that he does it at least once, just so we can see it. He has a lot of removal. He has the mutilates that can answer the. And I told him, he showed me the deck before we were talking about his deck before we set up and everything. And I told him, I said, do you have any copies of Sever the Bloodline or Curse of Death's Hold in your sideboard? He said, no, I don't know. I offered him some. I don't know if he put them in there.
Gold Jerry Charm seems like a great...
Well, Jerry Charm is very good in this spot. The problem being is that he's only good the first time before... Brett almost always plays an Anthem before he plays a token generator, so the 1/1 is almost never good enough.
You could also theoretically take out the enchantment, one of them at least, with.
Oh yeah, you can. I forgot the other 2 modes that it has. But yeah, someone in the chat asking what the combo is exactly. It is, of course, Rooftop Storm, Grimgrin, and Gravecrawler. Those 3 cards will allow you to make an infinitely large Grimgrin and attack next turn for the win. But if you have either Blood Artist or Diregraph Captain on the board, every sack effect will net 1 damage, and you can drain your opponent out. So
yeah, Rooftop Storm says that you may play 0 mana.
Yeah,
all your zombie spells as opposed to whatever they cost, and you can cast Gravecrawler from the graveyard if you have a zombie, which Grimgrin is a zombie, so
I have one.
It's your grabby time.
Jordan is playing my Grimgrin in this deck. It is the foil one that used to be the commander in one of my EDH decks.
I remember that EDH deck.
I took it apart because it was very good and it wasn't any fun to play, and so I took it apart. It is slowly becoming, as I overcome my complete laziness and procrastination, it's slowly becoming a Mimeoplasm EDH deck. So, like we do every week, I want to take this opportunity here while they shuffle up and sideboard for Game 2 to thank the fine folks here at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. Lost Legion has 4 convenient locations in the greater West Virginia area: South Charleston, Parkersburg, Beckley, and Princeton. A reasonable drive from places like Roanoke, Blacksburg, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Cincinnati, and Lexington. Go to their website, lostlegiongames.com, for more information. Check out their calendar of events. They don't have online sales, but you can look at their calendar of events, and should we have a Grand Prix trial or some kind of a cash tournament like that, it might be worth you making the trip down. And hey, I mean, you get to see me. That's probably worth it in and of itself.
Quite.
I mean, there's some things in life you can't put a price tag on.
There is nothing I don't agree with.
We do this silly little broadcast every week, 6:30 p.m. Eastern in the U.S. That's 11:30 in the U.K. And that is
just throwing that in there.
8:30 in Chile. We have one dedicated viewer in Chile who recently top 8'd a PTQ. I don't know if you saw our Facebook page.
That's delightful.
We'll talk about that, but we definitely appreciate them doing us this solid, letting us do this. Not just Magic, they have board games, miniatures, role-playing games, Yu-Gi-Oh, and a variety of other fun games. So if you're ever in the area, if you're driving to the beach in the summer, or you're going down to and from to visit family on the East Coast, try to stop by. We are at the intersection of 3 major highways, 77, 79, 64. This is a very long advertisement, but these guys, I think for those of you who've watched over many weeks and months, we are very fortunate that we have a store that lets us do this and doesn't mind it. So come and check us out every week on twitch.tv/ZachSellsMagic. If you're watching now live, obviously you know where the website is, but make sure you click on the follow button above and to the left of the video screen. That will get you signed up, and they will send you an email notification anytime our stream goes live. And if you're watching on YouTube after the fact, make sure you come and check us out sometime. If you can't, make your FNM.
Come watch ours.
Come watch ours. So it looks like these gentlemen have taken the half hour that I've used to do that promo to sideboard and come to termination. I'm looking at Jordan's hand. I did not see what he sideboarded in. partially because he wasn't. He didn't do it in a way that made it clearly visible.
Mm-hmm.
Also because I was talking the entire time, so I wasn't paying attention. But I see an Abrupt Decay, I see a Dissipate, and I see Brett Rose mulliganing to 6 cards.
That seems to give Jordan a little bit of an edge in this game.
It is better, yes. So let's see what's going on in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, that's one of the things you're missing. I mean, you still get this action. We upload all of the round footage to YouTube after the fact. So some people, obviously are playing in their own FNM.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm well aware of the fact that I'm broadcasting to a target audience who's almost 100% doing something
Somewhat
else.
counterintuitive,
Yes, but it is. We have a lot of foreign visitors who have different time. The time zone helps us there, and a lot of people they say I can't make my FNM because it's too far away, or I can't go every week. So this is a good alternative. That's always cool. But
very much so.
I completely lost track of my.
You were talking about the
chat
room.
If you're watching on YouTube, one of the coolest things is you can come watch the stream live, get in on the chat. We do interact. Jordan interacting with the turn 1 Gravecrawler.
That seems
to Brett's tapped Hallowed Fountain. Brett doesn't do. There's not a card in Brett's deck that he can cast on turn 1, but he doesn't care. I mean, you sacrifice that speed for the consistency, and all of his cards are 2-for-1s.
Going down to 16.
As Jordan commences, Gravecrawler beats. If he has a Syncopate here, it's a really good start for Jordan.
Think twice. Not quite.
I like to call the front half Think Once.
Think once. Think once.
I also don't like the new one. I like it when they play the one from Time Spiral.
Oh, I enjoy that too. That's really...
Is it Time Spiral or Planar Chaos?
Time Spiral, I believe.
Always slightly more baller if you can play with the original cards.
Ancient Grudge is from Time Spiral.
For example, the original or Overgrown Tomb. And I apologize for the glare over there. Last week we did change our setup slightly. You may notice that the camera is a lot lower to the ground, or at least to the table, I should say. This is going to get he can't cast a Dissipate, but he can
sync. That's a darn fine sync.
Yeah. Night of Glory being pro-black, being awful for Jordan's deck. That obviously comes in from the sideboard.
Now I'm thinking about it, I don't think Jordan has a non-black creature in his deck.
He has some that are black and blue, but he does not have and I don't think, and all of his removal is black, so I don't think he has any way of interacting with that card whatsoever. When there's a second
there's another one.
Yeah. In response, he's going to Abrupt Decay the favorable wins, and now it's just a good old-fashioned race.
Jordan's ahead. It looks like Brett's getting a little bit stuck on.
Yeah, he did mull to 6. He drew these 2 Night of Glories because he cast favorable winds on turn 2, and I'm sure he would have cast the Night of Glory on turn 2 if he had it. So he's drawn back-to-back Night of Glories instead of the lands he needs.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace is going to get dissipated. So Jordan can beat it a Rest in Peace. He also has Abrupt Decays, which he can catch it if it does stick, but it does shut off the combo win. I mean, but remember, Grimgrin itself is just a giant dude. And Brett's not playing removal. He's playing Azorius Charm, but he's not playing hard removal. Jordan getting stuck on land, too. I don't know how many lands he has in the deck, but maybe not. Maybe these guys just aren't playing with lands.
That seems like a misplay.
Seems like a poor strategic choice, but to each their own. See a Drogskull Captain come in, and I will reiterate for those of you who have not watched Brett play before, he does keep his graveyard in a very precarious area of the board, which makes it look like it is in play, so the favorable wins has been Abrupt Decay.
Yes.
We're going to end a turn Alchemy here.
Think twice.
Flashing back a Think Twice. And of course, since it is foil, you get to draw 2 cards.
Of course. That's magic rule number 2.
That is, I say that joke every single time. It hasn't been funny once, but it doesn't stop me from saying it.
I laughed on my inside.
I'm nothing if not persistent. Jordan plays, that's a altered Hinterland Harbor.
Hinterland Harbor, which looks awesome.
Abrupt Decay on the Lord. Seems like an odd choice on his turn. I see a Deathrite Shaman in his hand, as well as another Dissipate, so Jordan's pretty much got the lockdown here. Brett can't really afford to attack with his Knight because he's behind in the race. Jordan is at 16 there because he played the Tomb untapped. It's either Overgrown Tomb or a Hinterland Harbor. He bought two, I think from alteredprints.com. We've talked about them in the past. I'll make a note of that to put that in our recap post.
Soaring coming down and then soaring going up.
Yep. So Altered Prints is something I'll post a link to in the recap post. We'll talk about it later, but we do a recap post on our Facebook page every weekend after FNM. So anything we talk about on the stream will show up there. A second Gravecrawler and a Deathrite Shaman. And the Deathrite Shaman itself will win this game in 6 turns.
Yes.
Because Jordan has done nothing if not fill his entire graveyard with
sorceries,
instants and sorceries.
Yep. Intangible Virtue.
We see Intangible Virtue come down for Brett. Unfortunately, there's no... he's going to resolve Midnight Haunting in response to the Forbidden Alchemy. See, these guys know how to play their decks. It's fun to watch them. It's these little edges that you know when to tap out and when not to. Did you see what he pulled off the alchemy?
It looked like what he threw in the graveyard was a bunch of lands.
I see. So there's 6. I see he's got Abrupt Decay, and is it a Grimgrin or is it a Diagraph Captain? Diagraph Captain's pretty good here because you can attack in, trade with anything that Brett has, and then recast it. Yep. So this is Grimgrin, it looks like.
Yep, there's Grimgrin.
That's my Grimgrin because it's the foil one.
Ooh!
I feel like I have a part in...
So he gets 2+1 counters.
Yeah, if a foil Grimgrin, if it connect, you win the game. It's a sub-rule.
It's got a mini-page effect.
It's high level.
That's next leveling. Mm-hmm. Next leveling.
Brett, Jordan has now entered the portion of the game where he's competing to see who can touch his cards the most. He's currently winning. Oh, do it again. Do it again.
Coming over to play with spirits.
In response, there we see the interaction. Pre-combat, he's going to use Deathrite Shaman to make the extra mana he needs for Abrupt Decay on Intangible Virtue. Now Brett is going to reconsider his attack, unless there's a Supreme Verdict coming up.
End of turn, sack grave.
Mm-hmm.
Good decisions.
Mm-hmm. It's also interesting there to not sack the other Gravecrawler because you at least you don't want to get 2 Gravecrawlers in the yard with no business. So you attack here with the Grimgrin regardless because you at least get to destroy one of the tokens.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to block with the Pro-Black Knight, but still.
Yeah, Knight, obviously.
And you can get in incremental damage with the Gravecrawler. Gets a second counter when it triggers on attack. I'd like to give a shout out to our boy Vinny, mentioning in the chat, one of our faithful Facebook friends. Usually plays FNM, but he's on the road this week, actually getting to watch the stream live for the first time. So glad to see him in the chat, as well as various other regulars that we will no doubt shout out to, as the kids would say. I'm pretty hip with the kids. Yeah, I know all the lingo. I know about YOLO.
You are.
I know about memes. Mm-hmm. I know about Gangnam Style.
Wow, that's impressive. Zach, you are
well,
nothing.
I mean,
you are nothing if not one jive turkey.
Yeah, I do my best. I think that's the Hinterland Harbor. So I guess we'll figure out if he gains life here.
Yep.
Yep. So that is the Hinterland Harbor. Interesting that he's going that route. What happened to the other Gravecrawler? I was not paying attention. I was making jokes about Gangnam Style.
I think he may have sacked it.
Gravecrawler comes back. Yeah, I think he sacked it end of turn.
Mm-hmm.
That one Knight of Glory is always going to stop Grimgrin, but...
Pretty soon he's going to be getting in there with all of his Gravecrawlers if he wants.
I don't know why he didn't recast his other Gravecrawler. Midnight Haunting at end of turn. But these Midnight Hauntings, now that Brett has burned through 2 of his Anthem effects, are not nearly as
frightening.
Yeah, and it is a little bit unfortunate how. I say unfortunate because I'm clearly biased because I want to see the fun deck win one and then go to game 3. But it is kind of unfortunate that the one pro Black Knight of Glory holds off the entire Grimgrin, because I don't think Brett can interact with it at all. There's a Snapcaster. Okay, so that's an interesting interaction. Jordan went to Deathrite Shaman, one of the Midnight Hauntings, and in response, Brett Snapcasted it back.
That was pretty sweet.
The kids call that value.
Yeah.
Also good is every Deathrite Shaman. So again, you can't stop attacking in. You have to
You need to keep the pressure on.
You have to use Grimgrin as just a removal spell every turn.
If Brett hits one Anthem effect, then that could get pretty ugly. I don't think... Yeah, Brett still has cards in hand, so...
I don't know if you can hear the ambient sound of Jordan lamenting the fact that he just now realized that he's not playing around the Tension Sphere, so he's going to be in a world of hurt.
Oh, no!
So kill one, block with the Knight of Glory. Also shout out to, don't know exactly what the username is, looks a little bit like Siblings. But greeting joining us tonight after his FNM in Denmark. And then our usual Swedish contingent, as well as Allie Browning from the exotic foreign land of Athens, Ohio.
Ooh.
Or Wellston, Ohio, but the general southeastern Ohio area.
Mm-hmm. Coming over to play with a lot. Jordan Saxon response.
That's Grimgrin is 5 base, so 7 counters means it's 12-12. If Jordan can find a Mutilate, he will just win the game. Barring Azorius Charm, which Brett is playing. I don't know if they're in the sideboarded games. I would imagine they're probably not, but because they're not very good in this matchup. Is it the end of Brett's turn?
Brett is still actually attacking. This is the combat steps. It looks like Jordan's
Did the Snapcaster come in?
Yes, the Snapcaster did.
Why did we not block the Snapcaster?
I do not know. Maybe he's scared of tricks.
Removing the Midnight Haunting.
This puts Brett at 10.
Did he not have mana or targets to get rid of the other spells?
Depending on what Jordan has, he might just be able to swing in for death. No, well, not this turn, but certainly next turn. Because he can just keep exiling a bunch of instants and sorceries with those.
I mean, if Jordan just machine guns his own graveyard, he can kill Brett next turn.
And
He has 3 activations, and he has 5. He's not going to die this turn.
No.
Well, that's not true, because he can't block the Knight, and he can't block the Flyers. He needs to attack in and kill a Flyer, like he's been doing every turn. Then he's facing down 5 damage next turn. An Anthem effect kills him, but an Anthem effect would have killed him the whole game. And I'm sure he probably has an Abrupt Decay at this point.
Right. Well,
that's a mistake.
Because he could have blocked the Snapcaster. He should have blew up one of the...
Yeah, I'm not sure what's... Oh, and also Jordan missed the Vault of the Archangel, which means that Grimgrin is no longer with us. But I don't think it matters.
I would agree with that, because, I mean, he was just going to block every turn with Knight anyhow. Jordan still can pull this out.
Hey, Max.
Hello.
Max, how did you do round 1?
I won.
Well, good.
Awesome, buddy.
2-0.
Now joined by Maxx Turner, who was a 2-0 victor in his round 1 matchup against shop legend Dave Brown, I believe.
He's playing a crazy combo deck that I barely caught.
Did you know last week Dave Brown played on camera, and I didn't realize until after I put it up on YouTube and people started commenting on it that I put his deck as some weird combo deck, and I never changed it.
It wasn't still.
And Jordan loses.
Oh, that hurts.
Grimgrin not working?
Well, one Night of Glory blocked all of it.
Constantly. He's in response.
You just want to combo with it, don't you?
Yeah, he did. He had.
Life?
Yeah, Brett's been dead for turns, but he has one Night of Glory, so he can't attack through it.
He doesn't have a Demir cap or Demir Doggo cap or whatever yet?
No.
Well,
and he also made a mistake with that. To be fair, I missed as well. That Brett had a Vault of the Archangel out, and Brett attacked in with his Grimgrin.
well,
And Grimgrin made an expedited
Does he have Rooftop Storm?
in his deck, but not one play. He has 3 Death Rites and Gravecrawlers. He has a full house of 1-drops, none of which are any good at this point.
and this is this is game 2 for everybody who's uninformed. He's coming over to play with those two. I do that.
The round...
He might have Brett. I'm not sure.
Does Jordan play any kind of like Barter, Mutilate, or Curse, or anything like that?
maybe in the sideboard. He plays Mutilate in the main deck, but I haven't seen one in both games.
I'll tell you what, Barter and Blood, fantastic.
It is very good, especially with hexproof enchantments winning the last Grand Prix. I figured we'd see at least a couple copycats, but we have not.
Butcher Cleaver Invisible Stalker beat me to death.
Mm-hmm.
Brett's just on regular Esper tokens.
Yep, same deck he's played since the dawn of time.
It's a good deck.
So now I think Jordan, even with his activations of,
This game is over.
Yeah.
He gets a Mutilate in it, isn't he?
He's dead to so many cards. He has to use all 3 of his triggers to gain 6 life,
And he'll lose his crawlers out of it, or?
Yeah, he'd have to burn
And
the
then-
crawlers to do it.
and then he would have to. Then he would have Brett. Brett has to miss. Brett's also going to gain 6 life this turn. Is the one card in Jordan's hand is Abrupt Decay, right?
I'm not sure.
It's not relevant. Is it?
What saves it from an enchantment?
That's true. So I guess he's buying on 1 turn. I guess he's not dead at all. It's just more fun to speak in hyperbole. Trust me, ask everyone who ever made a comment on the
Jordan's
internet.
himself in the bed tonight. His day is done.
Jordan is definitely afraid of going to Baskin Robbins.
I was just about to break it out.
Brett,
Oh no.
Brett is trying to take him to Baskin Robbins, but Jordan is refusing.
I
Where
embrace.
you go after you win.
Well, that is the catchphrase that we're trying to...
Trying to initiate, I suppose.
A very dedicated fan on Facebook and on YouTube, Bilal Williams in Missouri.
Huh.
That's his catchphrase that he's allowed us to adopt. The problem is I always forget to use it.
I thought it was that you take the kids to Pizza Hut afterwards.
You maybe do that at some other store, but here you take it to Baskin Robbins.
Baskin Robbins.
So we carry. Oh,
If you're driving the car, you definitely want to go to Baskin Robbins, but if you're riding in the back seat, it's the worst trip ever.
what flavor are you gonna get?
You can also incorporate 2 scoops into it if you want to. Soren makes an emblem. That's good enough to win as well.
Jordan just had his raisin bread this morning. He's got 2 scoops.
And with the activation of Soren's -2, making a +1 and +0 emblem.
This might
But he still
be...
keeps him in it, doesn't it? Blows a token out.
He doesn't have a card. It was Grimgrin.
Sacking a house to Grimgrin.
Why didn't he gain life?
It's over, I guess.
Why didn't he gain life? I don't understand what happened. He could have gained 6 life, gone up to 9, taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
He wasn't.
Oh, that's why he didn't, because he would still lose. Before we pile in here, is there a chance we're going to get another game?
I can go hunt one.
What game are they going to restart one? Ask him. Brandon Hart and They're getting ready to start game 2. Their controller.
If they don't mind, or if they're starting a game. I don't think Brandon likes to play on camera. Alright, I think we're getting another bonus game, which should be Brandon Hart.
Sir.
Brandon Hart playing Esper Control versus Alec Myers playing Junk Tokens. Pretty cool.
I love this sign.
We do have that sign?
Yeah.
Literally been here for months.
Really?
Well, Scarlett was in front of it.
Yep. But while we're taking this opportunity, you do hear him in the background. It's the third week. It's the third installment
No longer bearded, though.
of Maxx Turner Needs a Deck. You are clean shaven.
Because he had to go, he dropped it because he's aerodynamic now.
I will, if you're curious of what's going on there, why this gentleman is so happy to have every deck. So Max has volunteered to let you, the viewing public, pick which deck he plays at FNM. First week it was Epic Experiment.
Every other week.
Every other week, yes. First week it was, of course, the very fun
Burn at the stake.
combo, which was super fun, and you made top 8 with it.
Also netted highlight of the week, didn't it?
Yes, it was very fun to watch. You should go back on YouTube and watch all of those. Last week it was Stuffy Doll, and you were miserable playing it.
Well, if you watch my feature match, it was very non-eventful.
Yes, a lot of not very
I was taking the basket Robbins.
not very exciting, but we're doing it again. We'll close the polling at the end of tonight's stream.
Swiss.
Close at the end of Swiss, all
We'll
right?
discuss it between
There is
quarter and
I have, for those of you watching live, I have just posted a link to the Facebook page that has the information on how you can vote. So you pick. Right now, it's a 2-horse race between. Oh no! I don't ignore that poll. That's the wrong one. Ignore that. Everyone who's watching, please ignore.
Ignore me.
anyway, but also go to this other link.
Well, it's a 2-part process every week. We make a post to begin with where everyone can suggest decks.
I'm gonna make a page for it.
And then a few days later, we have a poll of the top 5, and then that's where we decide what he plays. So right now, it's a 2-horse race between Bug or Golgari Self-Mill,
Looks like the mill's ahead, isn't it?
and they're even, and Rug Delver with Quirion Dryads. Both of these are very fun. So either way, you're playing a proactive deck that's going to be fun.
I've lost to both. Speaking of which, was Dave Brown playing this Destroy the Evidence combo that he
Is
had?
that his blue-green Rampart
Yeah.
defender deck? Yes.
Yeah.
I bartered and blowed all his defenders off every time I played him.
Well, we can talk a little bit more about Max, the deck you're playing tonight. I'm sure it'll be on camera at some point, as well as the Choose a Deck promotion.
I'm excited about what deck I do next week. This time I'll have more than 48 hours to prepare.
Yes, that was the biggest thing we've learned, is that you need more time to prepare.
I guess that's more like a test of my will and being.
Do you have cockatrice at home?
I have Magic Work. I think I have Cockatrice. I have Workstation and I have Magic Online. I brewed a crazy deck at 3 a.m. last night and put it on my Facebook. At least a link to my.
What is Alec playing?
He's playing Solar Flare, Reanimator.
Oh, okay.
These kids and they're mixing up decks. Is this game 3, do you know?
2.
This is game 2? Who won?
I don't know.
Can you do a quick shout out and see who won?
Brandon, who won game 1?
Alec. That was a very somber Alec from Brandon. Brandon didn't actually need to say the correct answer. He just needed to say anything in a tone of voice that we would interpret. So, for those of you, like I said, I do want to reiterate, the second link in the Twitch chat is in fact the link to the poll where you can pick Max's
That is
deck.
Brandon Hart playing Esper.
Brandon Hart is playing Esper. Alec Myers is playing Esper as well, but he is playing Solar Flare.
He's on a Reanimator plane, whereas
Yes.
Brandon Hart's on a flight control plane.
Yes, I would think that the Honest Control deck would have the better matchup.
I would agree, but apparently it
Well, I mean, any game can go any way. I
played
mean,
a 35 in a game 1, man.
so Brandon's playing for the draw.
And Alec is trying to kill 9 more minutes.
Think Twice versus Sphinx's Revelation. That's a pretty good Liliana activation. When you trade the front half of your Think Twice for their Sphinx's Revelation. Is that what the kids call value? We've been talking about this value town.
All I know is that I want to go there someday.
You want to go to there?
Value Town.
We do have in this area. We do have a discount furniture outlet known as Value City Furniture.
I've been there.
I have too.
I have too.
I purchased a bed from there once.
I bought a casino-style poker table from them 6 years ago. Interesting story. I made the saleswoman cry.
Well, how did you do that?
Oh man, it was her own fault because
Did you score on
I will.
Well, let's start this off. It was her fault.
It was. I will tell you exactly why, and I'll also put that in a recap post. Made a woman cry.
recap
They're
post.
going to put drum there.
No, but that's a very fun story I will tell either
Duress.
at some point. Duress comes down for Alec. Probably going to take that. He's got 2 Jaces.
Whoa.
Do you take the verdict, I guess? No.
I'd probably take the verdict.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to because you don't want your guy you reanimate to get blown up.
Well, he's got to fight through 2 dissipates.
I was just going to Ultimate Liliana and blow his land up. Ultimate Liliana, young boy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I went land and non-land.
Brian Gross, well, it worked out anyway because he pitched the Supreme Verdict. I think I would have pitched one of the Jaces, but Brian Gross is out there tonight playing a red-green Tyrant of Discord deck.
I played against him last week.
Well, he's tuned it.
He's
We talked. He came in here earlier and asked me for some advice on things to. So I think we tuned it a little bit. Got him more on a more linear plan.
I would agree with that. I enjoyed playing against it, although I was playing against him with his other decks. So only time will tell, ladies and gentlemen.
I tell you, last
Only
week
time can
he
tell.
was apparently not tuned. He had Conjurer's Plaza Tyrant Discord out and wrecked me.
Well, he's still playing both of those cards.
Yeah. Now he threw in some Hunt Masters.
I just get him from point A to point B.
Yeah. He wasn't seeing Tyrant in most games.
Okay, so Brandon this is an interesting strategic choice. I'll discuss with you, Max, I should say. Although I do have interesting news. Dr. Matt Taylor making an appearance this month, or in like 2 weeks.
Matt Elliott?
Matt
Elliott.
Yeah.
Oh my! Wow, really?
Matt Taylor making an appearance in the room today.
Yeah.
But,
I was like,
Dr.
oh, well, yeah.
Dr. Matt will be here for the pre-release episode.
Holy crap!
So
That's
I'm
amazing.
going to rent a tuxedo.
I'm gonna.
I'm not on his level.
No one's on his level.
No one's on Dr. Matt's level. But
Nobody.
he did talk to me today, so he's coming in for a week, and he said he, quote, wants to spend a lot of time at the shop. So
That's delightful.
maybe we can get him to play some Modern or Legacy. Maybe we can get him to play. That is one of the cards. He did liquidate his collection, but he did save his Stoneforge Blue-White Legacy deck. So
Oh, delightful.
I'm very excited for Modern Wednesday.
we are playing Modern on Wednesday, and I apologize for not.
We should stream the crap out of
I
that.
apologize for not paying too much attention to this match, but let's all be honest. No one cares what's going on. Because now we've entered that awkward stage where the Reanimator deck has to fight against the Torment's Crypt. And he
Fight against the Liliana.
had just found a Gristlebrand, too.
Crap! I really need to finish my modern deck.
I don't have a Modern deck.
Play elves. Play Burn.
Me? I don't want to play Burn.
The Goblins.
I might. I might play Niv Mage's Elementals.
Team.
Fiend combo.
I might play Hive Mind. Hive Mind in all formats. I need shirts printed up that say Hive Mind.
All formats, even sealed.
So what? Even sealed.
Even sealed.
I invent a new format where it's all sealed except you get one Hive Mind.
One Hive Mind.
Thank you.
So, and now we go over to Zach Sells Furniture. There you go. Nice zinger by Morphman in there. I did have everybody on the Facebook page this week tell me what their Twitch aliases were, and I did not get to make a list of it before tonight. But that was something that was very beneficial. About 30 people told me, because I'm friends with all these people on Facebook, and they actively interact on the page. There's a lot of content on the page, obviously, but I don't necessarily know who they are in the Twitch chat. So.
Could you give them nicknames? Like, aren't you like an admin controller?
I know, that's a lot of work. You greatly underestimate how retarded I am. Sphinx's Revelation, 4-2.
Does not seem like.
Let him have that.
Alec is the universal symbol of countering. He's thinking first.
Thinking again, maybe.
And so he's going to draw 2, gain 2 in response to... This is in response to a Liliana +1, right?
I believe so.
Because Alec keeps trying to put his card in the graveyard, so... So Liliana is on ultimate.
But you want an upper one, don't you?
Yeah, you don't ultimate at 6 with Liliana. You ultimate at 7. I'm trying to think of what
I think I got yelled at for not ultimating, a Jace on 6 or 8 or something.
Oh, that was like months ago. You did something very wrong.
No, I wanted to go up one and save it, and then it got killed or something.
But I think you had another one. Think twice in response to Jason Memory Adapt. Oh, did he rip that off? That's I'll write that down for a highlight. I didn't have any highlights or lowlights this week.
Wouldn't that Jace in particular help him out a little bit?
Somebody's at the door.
You know, because it would throw stuff into his graveyard.
Somebody's there in here. No, JB only wants to step 3. Sorry. No, he's just going to use it as win condition.
Only 4 people in the hot tub at a time?
3. 3 people in the broom closet.
Is it a fire marshal?
It is kind of that. It's also just to keep it reasonable.
Yeah, make it not a sweat box.
It is because of the fire marshal concerns, but also because there was one week JB came in here and every time he gave me a standing sheet, he blasted somebody with the door because there's just not enough room.
That should be like the highlight of his day.
It's just pounding into.
I can't wait till we gotta post parents. Shut the door open.
So you can just
Hey, what's going on, Zach?
I'll get here and sit. Yeah, but you gotta sit in front of the door.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there.
So Liliana at 1-7, Brandon Hart staring down 5 lands. He has had a very rough draw this game. He has whiffed on lands for like 10 turns in a row.
That's rough. He's probably playing like 26, I'd assume. I wish I was here ever played the most shiny cards won.
Elixir does not seem... Well, there's the dissipates in it. Ooh!
So it's Elixir and then Syncopate back?
He really wants that Elixir.
Well, I mean, that just negates the Jace in his hand. Why did he not ultimate Liliana?
Maybe he's just trying to tear his hand apart. It's not really... I mean, if he just blows up 4 lands or 3 lands, it's not really... I mean, I guess it's a huge deal. I don't know.
Oh, somebody rules lawyering up there, removing the dissipates. That's something that we usually miss. I mean, there's no way, to be perfectly honest, this is one of those games where, as a control player, Brandon can't win. He can't win in the less than 3 minutes he has left.
I mean, unless Alec has an aneurysm.
Oh, God.
Have you ever... Oh, man, I'm going to put that. Osip's commentary.
I didn't get to watch it.
Osip Lebedovich.
This weekend.
Have I posted... No.
Oh, that stuff. I really want to see
Have I posted that already?
No, I don't think you have.
There's a reason why pro players aren't allowed to commentate at the end of Pro Tours anymore.
He's commentating the Star City. I don't know if it's this weekend or next weekend.
Well, if he is, you should watch it.
I'm watching the crap.
Osip Lebedovich is one of those guys that has no filter and says whatever. At the finals of Pro Tour Columbus in like 2005, which was Legacy or Extended maybe, there was one French player who basically rode the power of his affinity deck in a field with no affinity hate to the win, and he played very poorly in doing so, and Osip pointed it out every time in a very classic fashion.
What's the show where all the couples do the things at Greatest Race?
Amazing Race.
Amazing Race.
Yeah, he and Gerard
Fabian, did you see their video?
Yes.
Where they do the application for that?
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, it is fantastic.
Also in a recap. We're not even through round 1 and have 4 things to put in recap photos.
Well, that's a problem. That sounds like a problem you want to have, Zach. It looks like Liliana got
ultimated.
No, my wife T-voted though. I figured it would be.
I heard your rant on Facebook, and I think I might agree with it, because I've seen some commercials.
They play chess though.
We do have, anyway, we'll try to get back to the...
Liliana just wrecked 3 of his lands.
Yeah, I want to get back to the game here briefly. Liliana did ultimate when it was on 8, blew up 2 lands. I think he just, once he ran out of things he wanted to pitch from his hand, I figure. But now he's in at the point of the game where he is double drown yarding Brandon.
Yikes.
So now it's a race between those 2 spirit tokens and the 2 drown yards. How is he going to kill him? Which way is he going to kill him? the reason I brought up the OSIP commentary was because one of the things he said in that match was that, like, he was talking about how there was no way the French guy could lose because he's like the luckiest guy on earth. And Randy Bueller was like, no, he can lose in this situation if Shuhei Nakamura was his opponent. He's like, if Shuhei draws this and this, and then Osip said, yeah, and a meteor could hit him in the middle of the match too. So I guess technically there are ways of...
Wasn't Randy Bueller just like a giant disadvantage sharing a booth with him?
I don't know, Randy Bueller was very professional. He was a very good broadcaster.
I miss the Mike Flores Pro Tour.
Mike Flores was probably the best Pro Tour commentator.
Is that just the nuts?
He used a lot of jargon, and he was very elitist, but he was so in a way that was not annoying.
Stone cold nuts.
He's a master. He's a master.
Straight up Jedi. The nuts.
He should rip off his shirt, revealing another shirt that just says, I'm a master.
Oh, mercy, mercy.
We should always have two control decks playing at the end of a round, because then we don't ever pay attention, and we just go through various...
talk and rant about Nerd Kings and talk about Osif's commentary.
Mike Flores is not the best Pro Tour commentator, as the chat has told me, but he was definitely entertaining, whereas the two guys that do it now don't hold my attention.
Is the chat suggesting who might be the best?
They have it, yes.
Historically? I mean, that's a very interesting discussion.
Historically, I would go with Merlin as the best Magic commentator that there's ever been. That's just a personal preference for me.
I'm not proud at how much I enjoyed that joke, Sam, but I did enjoy it. So we do see Brandon tapped out and stripped of cards from his hand. We see Unburial Rights Resolve getting back a Gristle.
I would say that Alec has positive board position.
You like his chances?
I mean, Brandon could draw a Supreme Verdict, though, and it's over.
Is there a terminus for all permanents?
Planar cleansing.
Planar miracle.
And we do hear time called. Again, my clock is for entertainment purposes only. It's not official by any means. But JB has just called time, so this is turn 0. It doesn't matter, though, because, again, Brandon did lose the first game in this match. So,
I think this is going to be in Alec's favor.
You think so?
Well, I mean, like I said, he could draw a verdict, and then they could go to Tom and do their 5 turns, and he won't die.
That's
in the world of commentary, we're getting Brian David Marshall.
Well, he's entertaining.
Well, I think he's very solid. I really do like him. Pat Chapin. There's a lot of love for Cedric Phillips and Rashad Miller.
I like Cedric Phillips.
I am not...
I can't listen to him for hours.
Interestingly enough,
I don't know how I feel.
Now that Gristlebrand is out of the picture, Brandon might be able to live through these next 4 turns.
If he limps a draw, though, it's still in Alec's favor.
He's going to lose 101.
You know, Chapin's a fantastic commentator.
That's a vampire.
Chapin is good. There's only a few that I proactively dislike. And I will reserve judgment on that, because it will inevitably sound like I'm
Terminus.
What are you reserving judgment on?
Like commentators I don't like, because it will inevitably sound like I think I'm better than them because I do this silly little broadcast out of a broom closet, which I do not in the slightest bit think. Is that like my Rudy? Is like I can do this long enough, and then one day Pete Heflin calls me up, or Glenn Jones is like, "Hey Zach, we've seen the work you've been doing on your broom closet."
Everybody got really sick. We need you to go to
the
Germany
Magic Broom Closet. Yeah,
there.
we're having a pro tour at the bottom of the ocean. Just wanted to know if you wanted to go check it out.
Most metal
pro
tour ever.
Can I piggyback?
Here's a question I have. Is Alec as close to milling himself? He did dig for and find a Jace, at which point he stuck it and is now...
He doesn't have an elixir, though.
That's a good point.
Yeah, true.
It was sneaking off there. Last week I didn't have, because I did move the camera down, I didn't have it dialed in, and we were missing some of the graveyards on the screen, but I'm totally dialed in now.
We are in the zone. Alright, so it looks like there's 2 cards left in Brandon's library.
Win via decking. And Alec has assembled a news team there. He does have the Super Friends. Form of Jace Memory Adept. Shape of Soren and Liliana. I need some Lilianas. Do you know a card I picked up today, Max?
Tell me.
There's a card that walked in the door today that I I picked up a foiled doubling season.
How was that? How hard was that to acquire?
I don't know. Cash works wonders, but I just never thought that. It's just amazing the cards that walk in the door.
Oh my! Random person carried it in.
Ernie.
He has a lot of good cards.
He does, and I've bought a lot of them over the time.
He was real big at that time.
What is happening?
I don't. I think Brandon just didn't want to concede.
Gotta make him earn it. Can't just give him away.
And it is the rub-ins, but he was also at that point where he could ultimate his Sorin, destroy his own, planeswalkers if he wanted to get him back. Although the ones he had were not necessarily the most.
No Nicoboluses.
No, Dr. Nicholas Bolus. That's a throwback from previous weeks.
Yeah.
And again, I'll go ahead.
Continuity.
I'll go ahead and bring it up, but you're now hearing the subtle sounds of one Maxx Turner. You'll see him shortly. Maxx Turner Needs a deck. It's the third installment. I've just posted in the Twitch chat the link to the Facebook poll where you can pick what deck Max plays next week. We've already burned through Burn at the Stake combo and Stuffy Doll. Go and pick one of the 5 decks, and he'll play it next week. Go to our Facebook page for more information.
I've decided too that if we go to an open or like a Grand Prix that's not limited, I will gladly do this.
You're gonna go to a Grand Prix and play
whatever everybody picks.
Okay, do that.
I'm gonna ask everybody to give me $1 though.
Everybody can donate.
And I will, if you pay my entry fee, I'll play whatever else you want.
Yeah, I'll play whatever.
Okay, so welcome to the aforementioned Magic Broom Closet. Now the question is it a broom closet that is full of magic, or is the broom closet itself magic?
We're magical.
Yeah, well, we're magical.
I don't know. This, of course, all stems from the super awesome banner image that's faithful Swedish viewer Tindra has made for us. Just like the great. The thing. I mean, obviously you can see it. I have finally posted the. That was the reason I wanted it. I asked somebody to make something to fill that spot. Never realized it would be that. But
my dad is apparently filling it right now.
Huh?
I wish I had a caricature or I'm left out. Adam Vickers has one.
Adam Vickers has his own token. Where is Adam tonight?
He is playing board games in Mix Shoals with Matthew Dayhoff.
That's fun.
Every third weekend church thing. I was invited.
Well, and we have very little time here before the next round starts, so Max will head back out and compete. But in the meantime, gentlemen, would you like to discuss at least one spoiler?
Yes.
We do have a whole crap ton of Gatecrash spoilers. Remember, just 2 weeks until pre-release events. We will talk about that at some point later. If you are local, I'm not saying it's worth the drive from, Chicago. But, if you're in with, an hour and a half, 2 hours, it might be worth next week coming down on a Saturday, playing some Gatecrash sealed with the boys.
I'll say it's worth
with the boys from the broom closet.
I'll say it's worth the drive.
You know what I'm going to say right here?
I'll say it.
Okay, if you come from Chicago, I'll give some kind of giveaway. We have giveaways coming up later, like we always do.
Only Chicago.
From Chicago, I'll take you to Chinese.
We will go to Chinese.
Everybody.
But it's only from here in Chicago. So it's very specific.
Yes.
You get Chinese dinner and card giveaways, but only if you drive from Chicago. And can prove so with a...
you're from Detroit. That's cool, but
So I'm going to talk about this card first. Now, this card was spoiled in, I believe this is Chinese. Or maybe Japanese.
This is
Japanese, not English.
This is
But I don't remember what it's called. No, Aetherization is called.
Aetherization, yes.
Here's what it is. It's an instant. It's 3 and a blue, and it says, return all attacking creatures to the owner's hand.
It's fantastic.
This card is really good.
Delightful.
Obviously, Cyclonic Rift is seeing some... It's actually not seeing a lot of play right now, but I love Cyclonic Rift.
Yeah, I love it too. I'm playing one in my...
I can honestly say I have never lost a game in my cube where I've overloaded Cyclonic Rift. I mean, literally 100%. But
this card is going to be a staple.
Yeah, I think it's. It's an awkward point in the curve, and it is a 4-drop. It is temporary, but with as many tokens that's coming out, it'd be interesting to see if the Populate mechanics of Selesnya and the Simic evolve mechanics, if there's some kind of Bant tokenish deck. That Biomass mutation, which we talked about last week, which is basically a mirror entity effect. that's a real card. Like that's their. I was having a discussion on
There's some
Facebook.
meat there.
Facebook about that card with some people, and they didn't think it was that good. And I tried to explain, like, Mirror Entity is good enough for Legacy, and there are tons of token generators. But this card's like, I don't know, that's a ton of tempo. I mean, if you're for bouncing tokens, obviously that's a best case scenario. But even if you're just clearing their
If you
board,
get like their 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, and then, it's good. You just set them back.
away,
Yeah.
so that
Somebody's like slam Silverblade, swing, you're like,
Nope.
have fun.
Well,
someone is reading it in Japanese, which is cool. And Morphin Man 86 had to leave for a minute, but he's back because he almost cut the tip of his thumb off with a cheese cutter. So,
well, I'm glad he's all right.
what I think is fun about that is that he is, it's either a very awkward out-of-context situation, or he's having some delicious high-class cheese while watching our stream. Little Chianti,
Yeah,
little Gouda.
But the best part is, if you do cut the tip of your thumb off, you can watch it on your phone in the yard.
Yes, you can watch it on Twitch TV.
Good.
There's JB with round 2 pairings. Thank you much, sir.
You're welcome.
Good luck to you, Zach.
That's Max.
Zach definitely needs that.
I'm sorry.
Max, do you want to play? You want to play on camera?
Sure. Drew does.
Yeah, Drew will 100% do it.
On camera. Alright.
Good to go?
Awesome.
It's easy.
Awesome.
So easy. So this card, of course, again,
Zach is the
Aetherization.
kingmaker over here.
Aetherization looks like a very solid, super good and limited, obviously. Looks good enough for standard play, in my opinion.
Definitely.
But then you should remember that I don't know anything regarding what I'm talking about. So I have never once claimed to be good at this game. So let's go ahead and move over back to the feature cam. I know it's sad that you don't get to see